Welcome to another edition of Coffee Break Sports. I am your sports barista, Rod the Magnificent. Come into the break room. Welcome. I'm back with season 2. Last year, I piloted Coffee Break Sports to start the NFL season. And as I promised earlier, I wasn't just going to cover the NFL. I was going to get into some NBA. I wanted to get into some NBA topics while the season was going on. But I had a pretty busy start to the 2025 year. And so I haven't really gotten a chance to really set up and do a lot of episodes or post a lot. I just got Coffee and Beats back up and running. Got a couple of episodes posted. So hit that little link up there up top so you can get all things Coffee and Beats. Just dropped the new album review of the new Will Smith album and also Yukimi from Little Dragon. But before I get into my episode, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the follow button, hit the share this with your loved ones, because I'm sure they would all love to hear this podcast. Now, why are we here? Well, you already know. You saw the thumbnail. We're here for first round NBA playoff predictions. I'm going to do this round by round. I'm not going to do a whole spiel on who I think is going to win the championship. Strap on your seatbelts. There's going to be a lot of disagreeing, a lot of attacking in the comment section, and I'm here for it. So if you disagree with me, hey, mention it in the comment section, or if you agree with me, mention it in the comment section as well. But enough of me rambling. Let's get into the Eastern Conference, or as most people would call it, the Leastern Conference. And it starts off with a pretty hefty bracket. I can't wait to get into what I think is going to happen here, but the Eastern Conference was pretty much set like for the last week or so. Pretty much knew who was going to be battling who. And I want to start off with the play-in tournament. Doesn't make a difference who come out these play-in tournament, but I just want to say big hand to my Chicago Bulls, ladies and gentlemen. My Chicago Bulls clown during the second half of the NBA season after all those trades, finally getting rid of Zach LaVine, except for Vucevic, even though Vucevic has been playing better since the trade. So I got to give him his props here. I haven't been the biggest Vucevic fan, but I got to give him his credit here. But I'm not going to waste too much time talking about the Bulls. I'm proud of them, but they're going to be in the play-in, and they face the Miami Heat at home this time. The last few years, the Chicago Bulls have been making it a tradition of their season ending in Miami. Well, now they have a chance to get a little revenge as they come back to Chicago to put a beat down on the Miami Heat. And I think the Bulls will go home and take care of business against the Miami Heat. Now, I did hear about Josh Giddey having some injury issues, but I think he's good to go. But I got the Chicago Bulls beating the Miami Heat to advance to the next play-in game, as they will play the winner of the Orlando Magic and the Atlanta Hawks. And Orlando will be at home for that one. Orlando had battled some injuries halfway through the NBA season from beginning to half. And now that they're fully healthy, they've been playing some pretty good basketball of late. And as you can see, they finished with a 41-41 record. They go on at home against an Atlanta team that they're a trap team. They're a walking trap team. They've been a walking trap team all season long. You never know what you're going to get out of the Atlanta Hawks. You never know what you're going to get out of Trae Young. Shout out to Trae Young and Shaq. That was terrible. But anyway, I got the Orlando Magic winning this one at home to lock up that 7th seed. And then the Atlanta Hawks will be at home to play the Chicago Bulls, in which I have the Bulls beating the Atlanta Hawks on the road to capture the 8th seed, which leads me to the bracket. And I have the Cleveland Cavaliers sweeping the Chicago Bulls in the first round. I just don't see, this is a bad matchup for the Chicago Bulls. Cleveland has proven to be a bad matchup to the Chicago Bulls team, but this is where all the fun ends. I got Cleveland in 4. Up next, we got the 4th and 5th seed, the Indiana Pacers, going up against the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Pacers have gotten the best of the Bucks, but at the same time, a lot of that has to do with the fact that the Bucks have been dealing with a lot of injuries. But I think the Milwaukee Bucks have entered the playoffs hot, and even though they don't have home court advantage here, I just don't trust the Pacers enough for me to pick them to win this series. Yes, the Pacers made a run last year in last year's playoffs, but I think it's because they caught a lot of people off guard. This year, I don't think that happens. I think Milwaukee's going to come in and beat the Indiana Pacers in 6. I got the Milwaukee Bucks winning that series in 6. Up next, we got the New York Knicks going up against the Detroit Pistons. This is the series, if I had to pick out of these matchups in the Eastern Conference, I would have to go with this one. The Detroit Pistons, they're bringing back the bad boy Pistons, kind of in a wrong way, in my opinion. I mean, they're a tough team physically. Isaiah Stewart's been making a lot of noise, a lot of headlines, doubling down on his behavior. As far as, you guys are not, gonna punk us out. We're not gonna go down without a fight. And I'm just sitting here like, hey, you gotta win a playoff series first before you start talking about, next bad boy Pistons. We're trying to carry on the tradition of what the bad boys did and what bad boys 2 did. And it's like, okay, listen, this is the best you have been in a long time. This is your first playoff appearance in a long time. How about embrace it? How about play smarter basketball and just go out there and outplay a Knicks team that's vulnerable to me? I think this Knicks team has been fakers all season long. I don't believe in none of their core. I don't believe in Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau has had a record of coming up short in the playoffs, and it's going to continue, sadly. Now, Detroit doesn't have experience here, and this is where the Knicks have an advantage. They have playoff experience. Cat played very well last year in the playoffs with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and now he's going to have to make sure that that trade was worthwhile by the Knicks, because even though the Knicks have won 50 games this year, I'm just not sold on them enough to say they're good enough to even make it past the first round. And with that being said, I think Detroit can come in here and surprise the world and shock the world by beating the New York Knicks in 6 games. That's my pick. Knicks fans, don't go attacking me in the comment section. That's just how I feel. There's Knicks fans. I know Knicks fans that feel the same way I do. They're not confident going into this series. And so I got the Knicks winning that series in 6. Up next, we got the Boston Celtics going up against the Orlando Magic. I think the Orlando Magic can get 1 here, maybe 2, but Boston is going to turn into playoff Boston. We all know that. And the Orlando Magic just don't have enough weapons to keep up with this Boston team. They have talent, but they don't have enough weapons to do damage. And with that being said, I got Boston in 5. Now let's move on to the Western Conference, or the Bestern Conference, might I say. The Bestern Conference is lined up, and boy, do we got some matchups here. The play-in all mapped up. We got the Golden State Warriors going up against the Memphis Grizzlies. But first, the Sacramento Kings will be at home to play against the Dallas Mavericks. I got the Kings losing to the Mavericks. The Kings have not been good. They just haven't been good. And at least with Dallas, we know they're depleted, but at least they fight. Since that trade with the Bulls that the Sacramento Kings have made, they have just been playing very lazy basketball. And because of that, I think Dallas is going to go on the road and surprise the Sacramento Kings and win that game and move on to play whoever comes out of this matchup, the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, Golden State disappointed me. I'm smelling double agent here with Draymond Green again. I don't think that the NBA gods wanted to see the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors be head-to-head in the first round this soon, okay? I have Golden State winning this game and getting the 7th seed to go on to face Houston, but I got a lot to say in regards to how things are going to turn out in the first round. But with the Memphis Grizzlies, I think they will beat the Dallas Mavericks here and advance to get that 8th seed. Now let's go into the bracket. We got the Western Conference bracket. OKC Thunder going up against the Memphis Grizzlies. I got OKC winning that one in 5 games. I think Ja Morant is going to be good enough to get him one. I don't see a pure sweep here. I see a gentleman's sweep. I think Ja is good enough to get 1 game, and you heard it here first. But don't be surprised that this might be the last year that we see Ja Morant in a Memphis Grizzlies uniform. That's just my thoughts. That's just my opinions. Don't go attack me in the comment section, but that's what I think. Up next, we got the Denver Nuggets going up against the Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers coming off an impressive finish to the season. They're fully healthy. Kawhi Leonard, all prayers is up. Let's hope he stays healthy for the playoffs so we can see the 2019 Kawhi Leonard resurrected. This is actually a revenge matchup for the Clippers after losing to Denver in the bubble back in 2020, when all things were pointing upward for the Clippers, and the Clippers were then viewed as the biggest threat to the Los Angeles Lakers that year. But now they're going up against a Denver team that's going to be going into this series with an interim coach. As we all know, Mike Malone got fired, and they have the 2-time I don't know. He hasn't been back-to-back MVP, but he's won back-to-back MVPs in the past. But we got Jokic coming in off averaging a triple-double for the entire season, being the first center to do such a feat or accomplish such a feat, even though I think Wilt Chamberlain, if numbers counted back then, I think he technically was the first, but that's neither here or there. You got the Denver Nuggets going up against the Clippers. This is a tough one, folks. This is a tough one. But I am going to go with the Los Angeles Clippers to beat the Denver Nuggets. That coaching fire, I think, is going to come back to haunt the Denver Nuggets. And the Denver Nuggets just aren't deep enough off the bench for me. I think the Clippers have a little bit more they can throw at you coming off the bench. And I just think the Clippers will win this series in 6 games. I think they will wrap things up in LA for game 6. But if this thing goes 7, I think Denver can win it. I think this is a pick'em series, to be honest. If Denver forces a 7-game series, I think that's the only way Denver can win this series. But with that being said, I got the Clippers advancing. Up next, we got the Los Angeles Lakers going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I came very, very close to posting an emergency episode on Coffee Break Sports when the whole Luka Doncic trade happened, but I chose not to. I said, you know what, Rod, be patient. Let's wait it out. I got a lot going on. I don't have time to break down a whole bunch of things to set up my microphone and all this other stuff. But I have the Lakers winning this series. I just think they have too many weapons. LeBron James and Luka Doncic turned out to work out pretty fine. They've been able to disguise their weaknesses as far as not having a true big man in the paint. But I will say this. If Rudy Gobert comes out and plays the type of series that Minnesota Timberwolves fans hope for, I think they got a chance to win this series. If Anthony Edwards takes his game to another level and outplays Luka, I think Minnesota has the chance to win this in 6. But with that being said, I got the Lakers in 6. I'm not going to do a Shannon Sharp here.
Okay, if you got the Houston Rockets, Auto Rockets, or you could pop, lock, and drop it.
But I got the Lakers in 6 on this one. I just don't believe in Minnesota. They're too flaky. Julius Randle is very wishy-washy for me. I think he's the X factor in this series. He can have a big series. I think also that Minnesota has a chance to win this series, but I just don't see it. I think the Lakers, everything is pointed towards the Lakers here, and I think they will advance to the next round. And then we have the number 2 seeded Houston Rockets going up against Steph Curry and the Warriors. Now, I know a week ago Steph Curry was shut down to 3 points against his Rockets team, and that's a rarity that happens. It's the only time that's happened in his career. But I still think Golden State is better than Houston. I love Houston. I love Ime Udoka and what he's doing. But the thing that scares me about the Houston Rockets is Jalen Green. He'll have those games where he puts up 30 points. He looks like one of the top scoring guards, shooting guards, slash forwards in the NBA. But then he'll have those games where he just disappears. He's not into it. His heart's not into it. And the next thing you know, he's on the bench in the fourth quarter and you're wondering, okay, what's going on? But Şengün is going to be a handful for the Golden State Warriors in this series. I think he's going to have a big series along with Amen Thompson. But I just don't see this team beating this experienced Golden State Warrior team with Jimmy Butler, who has playoff wounds from the past. You have Draymond Green, who's playoff tested. Steph Curry, who's playoff tested and is not going to have a 3-point game in this series. If he does, please feel free to come down back to this video in the comment section and prove me wrong. But I don't see it happening. I got the Golden State Warriors winning this series in 6 games. They are better than the 7 seed that they are going to be. But I think the Golden State Warriors, I will say this as a disclaimer. Do not take my 1 against 8 matchups and 2 against 7 matchups seriously. All right. And here's the reason. Unless Golden State somehow loses to Memphis. In the Eastern Conference, it doesn't matter who comes out of the play-in. They're all going to lose to Cleveland. All right. But as far as the Western Conference goes, I think all of the teams that are coming out of the play-in are capable of losing to OKC. As far as Houston concerned, I think Houston can beat all except Golden State. All right. So just want to put that out there before I get attacked in the comment section again for inaccuracies. But other than that, those are my first round picks and I'm sticking to them. And that will do it for this edition of Coffee Break Sports. I am your sports barista, Rock the Magnificent. When it comes to coffee, when it comes to sports, stay grounded for life. Hope you guys enjoy the first round of playoff NBA action. And if something electrifying happens in the first round, I will be sure to try to record an episode for that. But until then, enjoy the first round of the playoffs, NBA fans, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Peace.